Fitting a tremolo bar to a Gibson style guitar. Is it worthwhile? Today I'll fit a Guyker TM85 tremolo bar onto an Epiphone ES-339. However, this style of tremolo bar will fit onto any guitar with a Tune-o-matic bridge and tailpiece, for example a Gibson Les Paul or an SG or a Flying V, etc. In fact, all your guitar needs to qualify to take one of these tremolo systems is that the bridge and the tailpiece are separate, and the bolts holding down the tailpiece are exactly 82mm apart, centre to centre, and this is a very common measurement. Today I'm fitting the TM85 just because it was cheap and available. However, they've got a newer model which is the GM85, and this is improved. You can find out more about that on their website. And if you've got a little more money to spend, you might be tempted by the Duesenberg system or the Goldo system. And they're all very similar and fitted the same way. And they're all based off early vintage tremolo systems. However, there are slight differences. So if you're considering doing this job, it might be worth you shopping around a bit first, because you might find a feature or you might prefer the look of one of the other systems. Right, let's unbox the Guyker TM85 tremolo so we can fit it and take a look at it. This came from Amazon, so it's in the usual Amazon packaging. Inside the Amazon box, the tremolo is inside a Guyker plastic protective box. And finally, inside the plastic box, there's a bag of components you'll need to install the tremolo, and the tremolo itself is wrapped in soft tissue paper to prevent the surface from being scratched. My first impressions of the tremolo is that it's very shiny, very nicely chromed. I'll take the components out now and spread them all out so I can take a look what you get with it. Inside the bag are 3 Allen keys, a spring, the guitar inserts and the bolts, and a felt pad. Right, let's just take a look what the 3 Allen keys are for. The first one is to remove the bar that connects the spring and the tremolo bar to the tailpiece. The second one is to loosen off the tremolo bar so you can adjust what angle you want to set it at. And the third one, the smallest, is for the axle of the tremolo system in case you ever need to take the whole thing apart. The next thing I'll take a look at is the provided bolts and inserts. And I'll remove the bolts from the inserts first because I don't really want to use these inserts. So I need to find out if the bolts are a standard thread size and they'll fit in the existing inserts. Firstly, I'll check if a standard Epiphone tailpiece bolt will fit into these inserts. Well, the bolt does fit, but it's quite loose. There's quite a lot of play. So I'll just put the provided bolt back in the insert and see if that's got play. And it does, it has quite a lot of play. So I'm not really 100% sure. So I'll just try putting the provided bolt into an Epiphone insert to see how it fits. And that too has about the same amount of play. So I'm going to assume that's just the way they are and proceed with the job. But before I do, I want to find out why they've provided a second spring. So I'll take the spring out of the tremolo and then I can put it alongside the second spring and compare the differences. And to do this, I need to loosen off the Allen bolts in the top of the tremolo until it's loose enough that I can slide the spring out. Looking at the two springs alongside each other, you can see the one that was in the tremolo system is longer and thinner than the second spring, which is shorter and more stubby. And there'll be several reasons for the two different springs, but it's basically down to the choice of the guitarist. The spring that was already in the system is better for lighter strings and it allows more movement, but you might find the tuning not quite as stable as the shorter, thicker spring. The smaller, thicker spring should be harder to push down on and allow less movement of the tremolo. And because of this, it'll make the tuning more stable. However, I'm going to go with the provided spring in the tremolo itself, that being the longer, thinner one, and then I'll see how I get on. Whichever spring I eventually choose, it's nice to have the choice. The last thing to show you that came in the bag of components is the felt pad, and this should be stuck on underneath the spring, because when you're pushing down on the tremolo system, if there's any play, this part will touch the guitar, and you don't want to have any damage. Looking at the tremolo system itself, it's nice to look at. It's nicely finished and chromed. However, it's fairly lightly built, and there are some sharp edges that concern me, because if you bang these against the guitar, it will cause damage. So, while it looks good and it's well finished off, some of the engineering is a little suspect. Something to be aware of is the fact that without the inserts and the bolts, the tremolo unit weighs 219 grams, which means it'll add a little weight to your guitar. Before I fit it, I'll just hold it against a Gibson Les Paul Standard 1960s and the Epiphone ES-339 to make 100% sure that the bolts will line up. That all seems fine. So the first thing I need to do is remove the strings off the guitar I'm fitting it on. Sadly, because the strings go through the old tailpiece, there's no way of leaving the strings in place or working around them. I'll actually have to remove the strings and put them back on. Taking the tailpiece off, I'll leave the strings in place so that they stay together and tidy, and then they should be easier to put back on again once I've fitted the tremolo system. Before you start bolting the tremolo system down, you want to just lay it down on top of the guitar and take a good look around it. You want to make sure the holes line up and the tremolo system isn't touching the body of the guitar, especially around the middle. And this can happen because the tremolo is flat, and guitars like the Gibson Les Paul and this guitar have an arched top. So there is a possibility the tremolo system touches the body in the middle, and you don't want this. On this guitar it fits fine, and this is partially because the bushes or the inserts have a spacer on top of them. On a lot of Gibsons this isn't the case. The insert or the bush is flat against the body. If when you place the tremolo on top of the guitar you can see that the centre of the tremolo is hitting the body, you definitely don't want to bolt it down yet. You need to get some washers that the bolt can go through and place them between the tremolo and the guitar to raise the tremolo up so there's a little bit of space between the tremolo and the guitar. This will save your guitar from being damaged. Once you're sure you've got a gap between the centre of the tremolo and the guitar body, you can bolt the tremolo down and put the strings back on. Putting the strings back on is an absolute doddle because the strings just drop through the slots. And just as an observation, the middle two slots are narrower than the outer slots because they have to make room for the bolt. If you've never done this type of job before, you just have to make sure that the strings are lying in the correct place on the saddles and they're going through the correct slot in the nut. Finally, I just have to tune the guitar up and put the bar back on the tremolo system. Really, you don't need to remove the bar before you fit the tremolo system, but I did so it was easier for you to see what I was doing. Once I put the bar back on and pressed down on it a couple of times, it was obvious that the spring on the unit was just too soft. So I've decided to remove that spring and try the other spring to see if it makes it harder. To change the spring, I just had to loosen off the bolt as I did before until it was loose enough for the spring to slide out, and then I'd slide the new spring in. And straight away I could feel there was an improvement in how the tremolo system behaved. And there it is. Aesthetically, I think it looks great. And it doesn't look out of place on this guitar. I think they're based on designs around the same era, so they suit each other nicely. And that brings me on to something that's quite important I need to say. And that's that this is based on a vintage system. So it's not going to be very good at dive bombs and extreme tremolo effects. You'll probably end up either just taking your guitar out of tune all the time or breaking the strings. If you're thinking of fitting one of these tremolo systems on your guitar, one thing I'd recommend that this guitar's already got is roller saddles. And you can either buy these just as the saddles to fit into your existing bridge, or you can buy the whole Tune-o-matic bridge with roller saddles. Either way, the roller saddles allow the strings to move more freely when you're using the tremolo, so they'll help keep your guitar in tune, and they'll help prevent the strings from being broken. Right, here's a couple of quick tests. Straight away, I can say it's added an extra layer of functionality to the guitar. I couldn't have played that part the way it should sound without the tremolo bar. Conclusion. The title of this video asks, is it worthwhile to fit one of these? And I would say a definite yes. In fact, the reason I chose this system is because it was the cheapest one available at the time. However, I'll probably buy the GM85 and then I can do a comparison video to see what changes they've made and whether it's worth doing the upgrade. But there's nothing wrong with this system. The fitting process is really straightforward, and in fact it's not much more difficult than changing the strings. And you don't need to readjust the intonation or the action height because there's no need to touch the bridge. However, obviously if you decide to change the saddles to roller saddles, you will need to reset the intonation and possibly the action height. And if later you decide you want to put the guitar back to standard, it's just as easy to remove. Just make sure you store away the original components. If you're thinking of fitting one of these on your guitar, something to consider is the fact that the compression system is based on a vintage tremolo, and therefore it won't take the kind of abuse you'd give to an expansion spring system like you get on a Fender Strat or with the Floyd Rose system. But there are lots of options out there in tremolo systems, so before you decide which one you're going to fit, it's well worth you doing your research first. And that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it useful. And if you did, obviously, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, and then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Or if you're looking for free guitar lessons, take a look at my YouTube channel where I've got various guitar courses that I've put into playlists. And you can get the PDF ebooks that accompany those courses completely free at www.ebooksforguitar.com. Thanks again for watching, and a double thank you for anyone who's made it to the end of the video.